Hey listeners, welcome to LearnEnglishPodcast.com. I'm Wason, your friendly guide on this language adventure. I've got a big question for Lydia today. Why do so many English learners freeze up when they make a tiny mistake? What's really happening in their heads and how can they flip that fear into fuel?
Great question, Wason. Hi friends, I'm Lydia, thrilled you're here. Most learners tie correctness to self-worth, so one mispronounced syllable feels like public judgment. The secret is remembering that mistakes are data, not drama. Each slip tells you exactly which sound, tense, or word needs practice. That feedback is priceless.
I love that. Mistakes are data points. Speaking of data, could you share a personal cringe moment that really drilled a new word into your memory, maybe from Spanish class, that made you blush back then but cracks you up today?
Absolutely. First semester in Madrid, I tried to impress my host family by saying, "Estoy excitada" for "I'm excited." Unfortunately, in Spanish, it means "I'm aroused." Their forks stopped mid-air. I went tomato red, but that shock cemented the safer phrase "Estoy emocionada" forever.
That's classic. So if embarrassment can fix vocabulary so well, why do learners still dodge speaking opportunities? Is it just pride? Or is there a smarter reason hiding behind the silence? Maybe they've trained themselves to chase perfect sentences only, sacrificing real progress.
Perfectionism is definitely part of it. Many classrooms reward right answers over brave attempts, so students internalize a "don't speak unless you're sure" rule. Sadly, language growth thrives on messy trials. Think toddlers. They babble, fail, adjust, and suddenly say, "Mommy, juice."
That toddler image makes sense. Let's zoom into common rookie errors. Yesterday, a student wrote, "He don't like coffee." Could you break down why that subject-verb mismatch happens and how to fix it? Maybe with a quick drilling question learners can ask themselves?
Sure. English third-person singular demands an "s" or "does" helper. Ask yourself, is my subject he, she, or it? If yes, add "s" or use "doesn't." So, he doesn't like coffee. Drill a mini quiz. He, like, she, want, it, seem. Convert mentally before speaking aloud.
Love the mini quiz idea. Another snag is irregular verbs. Students say, "Yesterday I go." Could you give a memory hack plus a question pattern they can practice, like, "Did I yesterday?" to force past tense recognition, and maybe add something auditory or visual that sticks?
Absolutely. Create a 3-column chart. Base form, past, image. For go, picture a door swinging shut after you went out. Ask, "Did I go yesterday?" The helper "did" signals the answer must use "went." Visual plus self-question drills lock those troublemakers in place.
Prepositions also terrorize learners. "I'm good in English" pops up daily. How can they decide between in, at, and on without memorizing endless rules? Could you offer a sanity-saving shortcut, maybe a quick visual cue?
Try the target board trick. Picture a dartboard. At hits the bullseye, specific skills, good at math. In lands in the middle ring, location, live in Boston, and on sits on the surface ring, devices, on Facebook. Ask, is my idea precise, contained, or touching?
That metaphor is sticky. Now, pronunciation. I hear vegetable pronounced vegetable. Could you model the correct reduced form, then explain why English sometimes drops syllables so learners recognize the pattern, and maybe give them a simple mouth exercise today?
Listen carefully. VJ2 bell, only 2 clear beats. English swallows unstressed vowels, called schwa, I, To keep rhythm smooth. Tap your fingers. Stressed syllable gets a tap. Unstressed slips into a whisper. Try comfortable the same way. Rhythm over spelling. That's the rule.
Fantastic. Let's lighten up with humor. Could you share another student slip, maybe the "I cooked my husband" classic, and explain how adding the preposition for totally rescues the meaning? Learners love stories like that at dinner time.
Sure. One evening, a beginner proudly announced, "I cooked my husband last night." The class gasped. I gently inserted "for" and rephrased, "I cooked for my husband last night." Prepositions change the entire picture. One word prevents accidental cannibalism. Laughter burned the lesson into everyone's memory.
Speaking of laughter, how does humor actually help retention? Is there science behind remembering a funny error more easily than a workbook exercise, like dopamine release or emotional tagging in long-term memory?
Exactly. Neuroscience shows emotions trigger dopamine, labeling experiences as important for long-term storage. A funny blunder delivers emotion plus context, creating a vivid memory tag. Dry drills rarely hit that chemical jackpot. So embrace laughter. It literally wires vocabulary deeper into your neural network.
Moving from psychology to practice, could you outline a mistake journal structure learners can start tonight? Maybe 3 columns: error, correction, reason, and a prompt question to review weekly, spotting patterns and actionable focus areas for next week's goals?
Perfect. Column 1. What I said. Capture the exact sentence. Column 2. Better version. Write the corrected form. Column 3. Why it's better. Note grammar, word choice, or pronunciation rule. Every Sunday ask, what pattern repeats? Target that pattern in the coming week's speaking.
Great! Now, self-correction in real time feels tricky. How can learners interrupt themselves gracefully without derailing conversation? Could you model a quick fix using the verb example, he doesn't like tea, and explain why listeners appreciate the correction for clarity?
Model it like this. He don't. Actually, he doesn't like tea. Keep eye contact, smile, and continue. Listeners value clarity. Fixing on the spot prevents confusion later. Plus, self-correction signals awareness, boosting credibility. Think of it as editing a live Google Doc. Clean copy, happy readers.
Awesome analogy. Let's pivot to listening skills. You mentioned rhythm earlier. What's a quick at-home exercise using music or podcasts to catch reductions like gonna or wanna? And how should learners question what they hear? Perhaps write them down and imitate.
Choose a favorite English song, slow it to 0.75 speed, and write 4 lines you hear. Circle reduced forms, gonna, kinda, lemmy. Ask, what full form is hiding here? Then shadow read the lyric, matching the singer's timing. Question plus imitation converts passive noticing into active skill.
Brilliant. Before we reach halftime, could you summarize why stepping outside the comfort zone is non-negotiable? Maybe with a question formula like, what's one risky sentence I can attempt today in real conversation?
Comfort zones feel safe, but sterile. Growth requires friction. Each morning ask, what's one risky sentence I'll attempt today? Maybe a new tense or idiom. At night ask, did I try it? Tracking attempts beats tracking perfection. The question habit nudges you forward consistently.
Quick pit stop. If you're enjoying this chat, remember you're watching a video from LearnEnglishPodcast.com, your hub for confident communication. Hit pause, grab water, and get ready, because Lydia's about to unpack turning blunders into building blocks.
Thanks, Wason. Let's dive into the feedback loop. Step 1. Notice the mistake. Step 2. Identify the rule. Step 3. Recycle it within 24 hours. Example: mispronounce dessert versus dessert. Learn the stress pattern, then ask a friend, do you prefer cake or the Sahara Desert?
Recycling within a day sounds doable. How about using technology, voice recorders or speech-to-text, to catch hidden errors? Could you walk listeners through a short evening routine that doesn't feel overwhelming after a busy day?
Set a 5-minute timer. Open a voice memo. Describe your day in English. Play it back while watching live captions. Circle any words the software mishears. That's a pronunciation flag. Next, read the same description aloud, correcting those words. 2 passes, 1 phone, daily improvement.
Earlier you mentioned learners translating directly like, I have 25 years. How can they train themselves to think in English structures instead of their native patterns? Perhaps a question-answer drill that rewires sentence-building reflexes over time. Great exercise before daily meetings online.
Use chunk replacement. Take a common native phrase and swap in English chunks. Example: Spanish, tengo hambre becomes I'm hungry. Notice verb be replaces have. Drill. Ask, how would an American kid say this? Answer aloud immediately. Rapid substitution builds automaticity, eliminating word-for-word translation.
Nice. Switching gears, let's address confidence. Some learners shut down after one public mistake. Any quick mental mantra they can ask themselves to bounce back instantly. Something rooted in growth mindset psychology like, this error equals progress points today?
Repeat, mistakes are tuition. You're paying in discomfort for fluent dividends later. Ask, what did that slip just teach me? Treat each error as a paid lesson, not a fine. This reframe turns embarrassment into investment, helping you restart conversation with a grin.
From mindset to strategy, could you list 3 real-life situations where learners should purposely risk mistakes, like ordering coffee, joining an online game chat, volunteering in class, giving directions to tourists, or participating in workplace meetings in English?
Top 3 risk zones. 1. Cafe counter. Order a complicated drink aloud. 2. Online multiplayer mic. Describe game tactics in English real time. 3. Tourist help desk. Offer street directions to foreigners. Each setting supplies immediate feedback and low stakes. Repetition converts fear into fluency.
Excellent. Let's tackle grammar books. How do we move from theoretical understanding to spontaneous speech? Could you propose a 60-second daily drill that blends controlled and free practice using a kitchen timer and random topic cards for speed exercise?
Try Grammar Sprint. Set a 1-minute timer. Pick a tense. Say past perfect. Recite 3 controlled sentences. I had finished dinner. Then switch to free talk. Describe yesterday using that tense as much as possible. Timer encourages speed. Switching modes cements brain pathways between rule and real use.
Great hack. Now, listening comprehension again. How can learners pose clarification questions in conversation without feeling dumb? Could you give sample phrases like, sorry, did you say dessert or dessert? And explain why natives appreciate them instead of pretending they understood?
Use polite intonation plus curiosity. Say, just to be sure, did you mean dessert like cake or desert like Sahara? Natives prefer minor interruption over miscommunication. Clarification shows engagement, not ignorance. Remember, professionals clarify contracts all the time. Language learners can clarify conversations guilt-free.
Time for pronunciation again. Could you provide a mouth shape question? Are my lips rounded or spread? using the vowel difference between ship and sheep, and show how asking that question self-corrects during mirror practice each morning before daily meetings online?
Sure. Stand in front of a mirror. Say, ship, then sheep. Ask, are my lips relaxed and unrounded for I in ship, then stretched wide for I in sheep? Visual feedback plus the question sharpens muscle memory, turning mirrors into private pronunciation coaches.
Let's sprinkle in vocabulary expansion. How can learners turn a mistake with the word bored boring into a deeper study of ing versus ed adjectives? Maybe a question card game that creates funny sentences for practice tonight.
Create 2 card piles, one with ed feelings, bored, surprised, exhausted, and one with ing causes, boring, surprising, exhausting. Draw one from each and ask, why are you a thrive? Example, I'm exhausted because my job is exhausting. The playful Q&A anchors correct pairing through context.
Earlier, we teased science. Could you ask learners to test themselves with spaced repetition apps like Anki and explain with one statistic why spaced mistakes stick better than massed cramming? Maybe 24-hour and 7-day review boosts recall percentages dramatically.
Definitely. Add mistaken flashcards to Anki with the correct version on the back. Research from the University of Waterloo shows spaced review raises retention from 35% to over 80% after 1 week. Ask the app, show me again tomorrow, next 3 days, next week, and watch accuracy soar.
We're nearing the finish line. Can you recap our journey in a concise checklist so listeners can ask, did I apply these today? Maybe 5 remember bullets to tape on their study wall for quick glance motivation?
Absolutely. 5 remember bullets for your wall. 1. Notice, catch the slip the moment it happens. 2. Record, log it in your journal or app. 3. Understand, ask why and research the rule. 4. Recycle, reuse the corrected form within 24 hours. 5. Reflect, review patterns each Sunday, setting next week goals.
Fantastic summary. Could you deliver a final motivational takeaway, reminding listeners that even native speakers trip, so they should ask themselves one empowering question before closing the notebook tonight? Something like, what mistake taught me the most today?
Here it is. Every accent, every grammar slip you hear from natives proves perfection is a myth. Before bed, ask, what mistake taught me most today, and why am I grateful for it? Gratitude transforms errors into allies and keeps your English journey uplifting.
Listeners, if today's episode sparked an aha, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell on learnenglishpodcast.com. Your support lets us keep dropping weekly confidence boosts straight into your headphones, absolutely free, wherever you listen, anytime.
Thanks for learning with us. Remember, mistakes are tuition, laughter is glue, and practice is the highway to fluency. Keep asking brave questions, keep answering boldly, and we'll meet you next time on LearnEnglishPodcast.com. Until then, happy speaking.